All right, guys. Happy holidays. It is Thanksgiving week. That means it's week 13 in the NFL. Mark and Adam from the Sports Corner. We are back to give you guys all of our predictions. If I sound a little bit under the weather, that's because I am underneath the weather. So, I know I look like trash right now. I sound like trash. So, give me a break. I feel a bit under the weather, guys. But besides that, we're doing these predictions on Tuesday. Usually, we do these predictions on Thursday as we try to get close to the week. But since it's the holidays, we got things to do, family to see. We are doing this on Tuesday, and games are on Thursday and Friday. So, Adam, it's your favorite holiday, right? You pumped for Thanksgiving games? You guys gonna sit and watch the Packers play the Lions? Are you guys? Is your whole family all Packer fans, or the people that are coming over?
Yeah, I don't want people at my house for the Packer game, so we're hosting. But I told people don't come till 4 o'clock because I want to be able to sit down and watch the game. But no, I'm super excited. I love Thanksgiving. It's my favorite holiday by a landslide.
Right.
I can't wait.
Have how many games is this? We have what? One, two.
It's always 3 Thursday and then 1 Friday, right?
I'm only seeing 2 Thursday on the card. Oh no, 3 Thursday. I'm sorry.
No, there's always three.
Yeah, 3 on Thursday and then 1 on Friday. You got it. So there you go, guys. That's what we're doing this on Tuesday. We're getting it started today, Tuesday, for our predictions. Let's just knock it off. Let's just start off with the Packers, as we just mentioned them. Let's talk about the Packers versus the Lions. And the Detroit Lions are favored by 3 points. And the over and under is 48.5. Now you get this number at 2.5. But when I looked at this, it was 3. So the line is moving to 2.5. People are taking the Packers plus the points, but we're gonna do it at 3. Hey, the Packers covered, man. Your Packers covered against the Vikings. I mean, does it say? Even though I believe the Packers had under 300 total yards in the game, the Vikings are still a solid defense. So that's nothing to they had under 300 yards against the Titans, but still under 300 yards. But I don't know what I'm trying to get to. Do you think it was a really good, solid win by the Packers, or do you think it was, it's just JJ McCarthy and that guy is now looking like he is just awful?
Yeah, it's both. I mean, with a bad quarterback like that, the defense, I think, smells blood in the water, and they just went crazy. The Packers' defense dominated. The game was really never close. And I think the Vikings kind of gave up halfway through the game after just getting a whole case of whoop-ass opened up on them. There was that one play, Emmanuel Wilson trucked that. I don't know if it was a safety or a linebacker at the goal line by himself. I was just like, damn, dude, it's awesome because the Packers haven't had a dominant win like that in quite a while, or I don't know how many they've even had this year. So kind of closed out the Vikings season, but still saw great things from the Packers. The defense looked solid, really solid. Offense is getting back together. I think there was still some conservatism with the offense. One, I think that's because we were dominating so much. The Packers didn't need to do much. And two, we still have some guys out. Josh Jacobs was out. Love, his left shoulder basically, I think, got dislocated the other week. So I think they're trying to keep him as safe as possible. So overall, they took care of business and did not let it stay close. So hats off to LaFleur and the whole team. I'm happy to see it.
Yeah. Good. They really turned to Emmanuel Wilson. I mean, almost 30 carries in that game, and he only averaged 3 yards a carry, but they consistently stayed with him. And maybe that's because I didn't know. I don't know how I did not know that he had dislocated shoulder recently, Jordan Love. So maybe that's the reason why because he only threw the ball for 21 attempts for 139 yards and no touchdowns. But they stayed with Emmanuel Wilson. He pounded the rock, wore down that defense. I think more importantly, though, Michael Parsons got 2 sacks. That's good to see. The defense, I feel like, is solid, but I feel like the last couple of games, because they sacked McCarthy 5 times in the game, I feel like before that, though, that they were like, hey, like, where's this? You guys they weren't gonna have the quarterback in general. So this was a good game to actually see the defense get after the quarterback. And You're right. The game wasn't even close. Like they scored, they had 2 field goals. JJ McCarthy is not an NFL quarterback unless there's some kind of big, um, if you will, like if there's a big like change in his system, like if somebody changes his whole mechanics, it takes 2 years to like to learn this new way how to throw a football. I don't know if that's not the case. This guy just might not be an NFL quarterback because he looks awful, and I don't know how they stick with him. I would go with the backup quarterback, the guy who they signed that besides Carson Wentz because Carson Wentz is still hurt. But then we're not talking about the Vikings. Let's stick with the Packers. They cover, and that's a good because they're 3-7 against the spread before this game. They were tied with 2 other teams with the worst teams covering the spread. So they cover now, covering 4 of 7. So that's good to see if you're a Packer fan. But the Packers, they rank first in the fewest rushing yards allowed, which I didn't know that. They just now supplanted the New England Patriots, and they're averaging 32.3 points their past 4 road games, which is also really good because they are going to Detroit. That's something you want to see, especially. It's surprising because as stagnant as the offense has looked, or we talk about it, putting up that many points is a good thing. And Josh Jacobs should be back for this game.
I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, I think he's still questionable. Yeah,
he's still questionable.
The same thing I have with the Packers is it's like they're not covering spreads, they're winning games, but also they have the 10th softest schedule in the NFL, so they have been playing some they've been tested, but they do have the 10th softest schedule, so that's something to keep an eye out. But this is going to come down to as they sacked JJ McCarthy that many times, can they get after Goff that many times? And everybody could tell from the Eagles game and before that the Giants game, if you could get to Goff, the guy starts trembling like a leaf in the wind. He just can't. He doesn't want to handle himself for some awful reason. And let's just talk about the Lions. They're coming off a disappointing win, in my opinion. Like they had to take the game to overtime to beat the Giants. I mean, as a guy who had a substantial amount on the money on that game, I was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, how? Like, okay, I'm not just being a Packer. I mean, a Eagles fan here because I'm an Eagles fan. I mean, but the Eagles, you could say, okay, they took Detroit, they won, tough time. But the Giants, I mean, Jameis Winston looked good. Don't get me wrong. That guy, when he's on, he's on. He's a really streaky wide receiver. Like the NBA, streaky shooter. He's really streaky. Like if he's on, he could really throw with the best of them. And he's off, he'll give you 4 interceptions. As he gave an interception, I think in overtime to the thing, but. But talking about Detroit, man, like they're not the same as last year, man. And I think it is because of Ben Johnson's gone and Aaron Glenn are gone. Because I'm not buying it. Like I watch them and I'm like, I don't know. There's just something off.
No, you're not wrong. It's the O-line as well, though. That interior offensive line has been a problem all year. They got blown up again. I mean, the Lions really relied on Jahmyr Gibbs' heroics, like unbelievable performance to bail them out. I mean, they were still moving the ball. I think they had about 500 yards of total offense. But Jahmyr Gibbs had multiple like 50-plus yard just home runs. Like he's extremely hard to contain. So that's the biggest worry that I have, because it just takes one play and he's gone.
No, I totally get it. He had over 200. He had like 220 yards rushing. He had 220 yards rushing, and he had a receiving touchdown. He had 11 receptions with them too. So I get it. He is, besides Jonathan Taylor, there's an argument that Gibbs is number 2 in this league as the second best running back. And the way he's such a good receiver, there's maybe a possible argument that he is better than Jonathan Taylor. And I know Jonathan Taylor is going to have over 20 touchdowns this year. I'm just saying, don't forget about Jahmyr Gibbs as an all-around back, who I think is like the Christian McCarthy was when he was on the Carolina Panthers. So I get you. That is something to worry about. Also, St. Brown killed that game. He had 150 yards receiving as well. So there's that. But still, a disappointing win against the Giants. You don't cover on a Giants team that was without their starting quarterback, without their starting running back. And I think they're out their starting wide receiver. Their front 7 is not that good as it should be. So disappointing loss. But that goes to show you that if you get to Goff, he shakes like a leaf. Some positive notes. Detroit has averaged 34.7 points pure home game, so they're putting up a lot of points at home. They're also 4-1 at home. They've gone 11-3 at home going back to last year. Against the spread, so they are very good at obviously playing at home, and also. As you said about the defense, we said they're not the same as Aaron Glenn left. The defense has allowed a combined 54 points in the last 2 home games. So they're putting up a lot of points at home, but the last 2 home games are letting damn near everybody score a lot of points on them. So, man, I think it's this. Can the Packers, if the front 7 of the Packers can't get to Jared Goff, can the Packers offense keep up with the Lions offense? But the key is the front 7 of the Green Bay getting after Jared Goff. Now, the Packers, as I told you, is one of the better rush defenses of all football. That's great too. If you stop Gibbs and you get to Goff, you probably win that game. But do you believe, Cody? Do you believe, Adam, that this front 7, who had a good game against the Vikings, but that's the Vikings, do you think they could get after Goff and rattle his cage for enough for the Packers to win or cover?
Yeah, I don't like how, I wouldn't say streaky the Packers defense have been, but it's kind of all or nothing. Last week was a great game. My main thing is, so this game has been circled on the schedule all year. It's prime time. These guys play knowing that they're the only thing on TV on Thanksgiving. It's basically a playoff game simulation going into the end of the year in the NFC North, where it's still anybody's division besides the Vikings. So, and we're playing a bunch of division games. So I think the Packers can do it, but I think we're going to see a different effort from both teams in this game, because the Packers know it's game time now. Like, we're in the home stretch of the season. It's time to get serious, and I think the Packers have the players to do it. So I am going to go with the Packers.
Does it concern you at all that when they first played in the game this season, the Packers, people who don't know, Packers won the first game 27-13, which is they stopped them. The defense stepped up, but you guys had Jarran Reed and Tucker Kraft going in that game. Now you're without those 2 players. I believe Reed is he's really on the mend. He's potentially come back.
He's close.
Yeah.
But no.
So does that worry you that you don't have those 2 guys right now going to this game?
What worries me is I think the Lions' offensive line was even worse in the beginning of the year, and the Packers' offense was like just unstoppable those first 2 weeks. I think they just put teams through a buzzsaw. So I don't think it was a fair comparison to where both teams are at now. So I think the weaknesses still exist, but I think they were a little more dramatic in those first 2 weeks.
Well, they sacked Goff 4 times in that first game. If they could do that again, I think that they could win this game outright. Also, I want to mention Laporta is he's on the IR, is out for the year, I believe. So he is not going to play this game, and he was their best receiver for the first game. Well, I'm going to go with you because my main thing is this: defense travels more than anything. And I think this is a divisional game. It's playoff type kind of game that I'm going to take the 3 points the best way I can here. I think even more than stopping Gibbs, I think if they could get after Goff, just like they got him sacked 4 times, I don't know how many QB hurries and hits they got, but I think if they could rattle his cage, Goff will come down to earth like he has in the last previous 2 games getting after him. But, like I said, they put up a lot of points when they're at home. They love when Goff is playing in a dome, he does his best work, but I think that this can be a tight game. There's a lot of things on the line. Who's going to win the NFC North, like you said? But I'll take the points. But I think also they could. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game as well. But I think the Packers could at least cover this game, and I wouldn't be surprised to win outright because to me the Lions' offense and defense don't look the same as last year. But it'll be a good game to watch as we eat turkey. Now let's get to the second Thursday night game. Thursday turkey game, Thanksgiving game. We have the Chiefs versus the Cowboys, with the Chiefs being favored by 3 points and the over-under is 52.5. Chiefs are coming off a win versus the Colts, a win they desperately needed because they were looking at, they're still as of right now out of the playoffs, but they needed that win desperately, and they could have lost it if the Colts could have put up any points in the fourth quarter. But good win against the Colts. Rashid Rice went off. I told you guys take over his receiving yards, and he went off. You know, I don't know about the Chiefs. I think I'm over them like believing that. I did have them to we both have the Colts to cover, which we did. And some pick'em leagues, I had the Chiefs winning that game because I was desperate mode. But there's just something. They have a better receiving core, which is good than last year. Their defense is not as like getting home as it used to anymore. Jones is not the leading sack guy anymore. You know, he could be burnt out from another Super Bowl. I know the Chiefs are just not, and the running game. I don't have to repeat it, guys. I told you guys multiple times it's terrible. They did go pick up Damian Pierce from the when the Texans let him go, which I think if they get him up to par, that is a sneaky pickup because Pierce has some good. I think Pierce is better than all the running backs right now. Literally, a guy who got let go by the Texans, I think he's better than Pachenko, Hunt, and the Smith guy. Hunt has like 7 rushing touchdowns, but he averaged like 2.5 yards a carry. He doesn't have them with that juice. He's a goal line back. Mahomes is completing 64% of his passes. I'd like to see that up a little bit more. Also, when playing when the Chiefs are playing when they're a 3-point favorite, this season they are 3-4 against the spread. So they're not the best number you want to see when they're up when the spread is around 3.5. Also concerning thing to me, man. I'll just jump here about the Chiefs. Tell me what you think about them so far. Now that we got we're much into the season. They've only got 2 wins against 2 winning teams. So 2 of their wins are only 2 winning teams. And this is usually I harp on this because this is this is the reigning champions, is the Chiefs. They have a hard schedule as they should, and then you got 2 wins against 2 winning teams. So the rest of the teams have been below average. So that's also concerning as well. I also want to point out they're 1-4 on the road too, so they are not so hot on the road. So man, do you think that Chiefs magic is dying down? And I don't know, like it's just. I don't know. This doesn't seem like the Chiefs. That's what I'm getting to.
Yeah, they just don't have the roster they used to. I think they're well coached and they grind it out with teams, so they beat teams that aren't as good, and they stay in games. But they just don't have that next level of talent to kind of get over the top teams consistently.
Well, they're only allowing teams. They're tied with another team. We forget that they're only letting teams score like 17 points since week 7. I think they're tied with the Ravens, that is. And excuse me, guys. Overall, they only allowing 18 points a game to opponents, and they're putting up 25 themselves, but they're not winning these games. So they have this big margin of how much points their offense is putting up, and their defense is letting other teams score on, which is good to see. But they're not winning those games. So there's something just off about the Chiefs. And so I don't know. Pacheco is playing the game, by the way. He was out a week or 2, so he is playing the game. So keep that in mind. Also, pay attention to all the injury reports as we're doing this on a Tuesday. Thursday's around the corner, and Sunday. All those games on Sunday. Pay attention to that. Let's talk about the Cowboys. Unfortunately, they're coming off a win that they should have lost to the Eagles, but they won against the Eagles. They were down 21-0. The Eagles' dumb coaching let the Cowboys hang around, and they won. Defense is playing well, though. The defense is playing good of late. That's because I believe they're getting healthy. That forget the rookie. They wait to get healthy. He finally came back at week 10 or week 9, and that he's a linebacker, so that adds more juice. They traded for Wilson from the Bengals, I believe. He's added a little dementia to that team, and they had Quinnen Williams. So the addition to all these guys has made the Cowboys defense better, if you will. Quinnen Williams was doing good against the Eagles. The Eagles couldn't get no rushing game on them. That says more about the Eagles. I believe Barkley is a little worn out from last year. Besides that, George Pickens he's having a career year. I mean, he's helping you in fantasy like crazy. 1,000 yards receiving, and they need it because CeeDee Lamb has had a lot of drops, more than that I've seen lately. I don't know what's up with him, but he's having a lot of drops this year. I don't know, man. The Cowboys, I say their defense is good. but like, their secondary to me still sucks. It's still like they're allowing teams to score almost 29 points a game on them, and they're also letting teams throw 252 yards a game on them. So you can still pass on this team like crazy. Just pass protect, and you could get after it. You could pass on this team, and they're 1-4 on the road. They're 1-4. Not them. Sorry, I meant the Kenny Chiefs. Chiefs were 1-4. So man, I don't know. What do you think about the Cowboys? There's still only 2 games out of the NFC East for the winning it, which I mean, I still think they're not going to win it. But the Cowboys, do you like what you're seeing from the last few games? Because they have been winning. They've been playing a lot of team stuff. They are 5-1 now.
I do. Yeah, I mean, the defense was so bad that first half of the year. So that improvement really does push them up the power rankings and helps their offense get better field position, the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, their wide receiver core is insane, as we know. CeeDee Lamb just seems like a head case, one of those number 1 wide receiver types that, I don't know, maybe he'll lock in for this week because they want to put up points. But I just think they have the potential to run up the score or put points on anybody. So I do like the Cowboys, and Dak Prescott still playing well. I don't know. They're doing good stuff. I don't think they're a scary team, super scary team, but they have a lot of potential.
Right. Yeah. And just getting our predictions here. They have been playing good of late. The biggest win beat against the Eagles. They beat the Raiders, and that was a big emphasis for me. I was like, it's just the damn Raiders. They're awful, but if you could see it on the field that they're playing better than they were in the first half of the season. But what it comes down to me is this: I still think Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, they're not going to be as consistent as Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. I think the good coaching is going to prevail. I think that Patrick Mahomes, in particular Rashid Rice, again, take him over his yards, whatever his player prop is, receiving yards, take the over against the Cowboys. I think Patrick Mahomes will play smarter, play better, and I think good win. But more in particular, this is their 3rd game in 10 days. The Cowboys. It's their 3rd game in 10 days. I think they took all their muster to come back and beat the Eagles. I think the fatigue is going to catch up to them, and I think the Chiefs win and cover this game and cover the 3 points.
Yeah, the 3 games in 10 days does give me pause, but I can't cheer for the Chiefs on Thanksgiving, and I like what the Cowboys are doing, so I'll take the points and roll Cowboys.
Yeah, it's hard for me too, since my brother's a Cowboys fan, and I'll be there eating turkey with him, so I'll be rooting against him. Even though he's so pissed off, he's like he doesn't watch the last 2 games because he's so pissed off the Cowboys are losing. But should be a good game regardless. So let's get on with the 3rd Thursday night game, which I'm surprised. Do these teams usually play on the 3rd? I'm surprised the Bears are not on this list. But whatever. We have the Bengals versus the Ravens, with the Ravens being favored by 7 points and the over-under being 52.5. The Bengals, they lost the Patriots, but they covered. So that, yeehaw, woohoo. But let's, Higgins is out for this game. He is a big loss for them because he got injured in that game. Hendrickson is still out as well. But big news, Joe Burrow is good to go in this game. He is back. Only took 11 weeks. Also, Jamar Chase is back from suspension. So arguably the best 1-2 punch outside of arguably the best 1-2 punch in the league. They're back together. There's some argument there for Puka Nacua and anyways, I don't get into that as I ramble on. But dude, I don't know. Technically, if they win this game against the Ravens, they're only 2 games out of winning the division. So it's still not out of the realm. And Joe Burrow, that boy, when he's healthy, top 5 quarterback in the league. Jamar Chase, when Burrow has him, any fantasy owners trying to get in the playoffs right now, and they have Jamar Chase, you thank your lucky stars, because he's going to get a lot of. The guy just works it. Remember last year, people, Jamar Chase was a monster with Joe Burrow. So, besides that, man, the Bengals are on a 4-game losing streak. They're 1-4 on the road. And do you believe that Joe Burrow is going to make a big difference? Like they're you know how terrible their defense are. They did cover against the Patriots, but do you think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase can power this offense enough that it can be their defense?
It's possible. I don't know. I mean, there were a couple weeks where Joe Flacco was making this offense look crazy good because Jamar Chase can get open on every route. Like, I don't know. It's possible. I really think it is.
Yeah. You're totally right. I mean, Joe Flacco had 13 touchdowns and 4 interceptions with the Bengals. So it's like,
yeah,
it's unbelievable. And I think Jamar Chase is going to go like gangbusters in this one. So take him on the player prop over as well. I don't care if they double team him. You get that boy in space. But as usual, comes to the Bengals, it comes to their defense. It's god-awful. It's horrific. I believe they allow the most points of anybody in the league. It's over 30 points. So that's what you have to worry about when it comes to the Bengals. But maybe Joe Burrow can put up 45 points when their defense allows 30. So we'll see then. Let's talk about the Ravens. They are coming off a win against the Jets. Me and Adam both have the Jets on that one, and the Jets covered for us. The hook got them, but they're on a 5-game winning streak, so that's good. They are now tied, I believe, in first place with the Steelers. You know, I want to also mention that 5-game winning streak. You know, it wasn't against like the gangbusters, like each of those teams, except all 4 of those teams had a losing record. The only team are the Bears, who had a winning record, but we'll get to the Bears eventually. But during that 5-game winning streak, they've won each game by a touchdown or more. So they're putting up a lot of points and they're beating all these teams convincingly. I want to point out Lamar Jackson is hurt. You can tell. Like, I watched that Jets game. He did not look so hot whatsoever. He has a toe injury and he didn't look he didn't look so great in that Jets game. So I think the toe injury is affecting him. So keep that in mind. You know, I don't know, you know, the Ravens, you know, everybody's hurt, so that's not an excuse. You know, this division I'm not too fond of either, but the Ravens, this 5-game winning streak, I don't know if it's things to tell that, because they, you know, they're what I'm trying to get to is like, do you think that the Ravens have it in them? We'll do our predictions. I'll take first. You think it has it in them to, you know, outpace the Bengals, and because their defense is it's 25th ranked against the rush defense, and teams are averaging over 5 yards a carry on them. Do you think they can stop this Bengals offense that might get a shot in the arm, if you will? Sorry, foot. With the Bengals offense. I'm sick. I'm all over the place here.
Yeah, I don't like the Ravens. I watched that game last week. The Jets played them really hard. It was a pretty close game. I was sweating the bet right at the end, but I was confident that whole game. The Jets were looking, I think they were ahead at one point. I don't know if it was at halftime or what. I don't know. I don't like the Ravens offense. I don't know if it's because Lamar is hurt. They just don't scare me at all. Like, they have hardly any weapons. Zay Flowers is the only guy. Derrick Henry is still good, but not great. No, I just don't like what I've seen, and I'm going Bengals.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I don't understand. You know, I told people how I thought it was such a great move for them to make that defensive trade. Who's that guy from the Titans who is a starter, and he's now a starter for them. I like that trade. But like, they got nothing else besides Zay Flowers. Like why didn't you go get somebody to help in the receiving room? Bateman is questionable for this game. He didn't play last week, so keep an eye on that. Henry, like I said, he's not the same. He had 2 touchdowns last week, but he still hasn't got 100 yards in God knows how long. Likely Andrews, the tight end guys. I don't know. I don't like this offense either, dude. So I'm with you. I think they could keep it close enough. The Bengals offense. And I think they could keep this, you know, within, you know, I don't know. And I think maybe the Bengals offense they might feel confident that Joe Burrow's back there, and it just might raise the morale for all of them. So give us the Bengals to plus the 7 points. All right, now let's go with the Friday game, Black Friday game they're calling it, which is, I don't know, kind of weird. Black Friday game on Amazon Prime. We got the Chicago Bears, who are 8-3, number one still in the NFC North, versus the Eagles. The Eagles are favored by 6.5 or 7. Shop your books, and the over/under is 44.5. Chicago coming off another close win, Adam. Another one. It's just I think that's 4 games in a row where they're coming off and just squeaking by. Now they had the lead against the Steelers. They'd have to do a game-winning field goal or a game-winning touchdown. But another one, Adam, and it's like I don't. Eventually, I feel like this is going to come to a stop. I don't think they can just do this because I'm still when you watch them, it's like I'm not a believer. Like I just can't. I do not think this team. I want to go check the odds again because they won again. They're still the third best team, the third favorite team to win the NFC North. They're still not number 1 or number 2.
Yeah,
it's still
It's like a 50-50 shot for them to make the playoffs right now. Vegas odds. They need to win like 1, maybe 2 games. That's it.
Yeah, I know. And so I know, right now, which that's by the way, that's why the Packers game and Lions game is going to be really, really interesting to watch because right now the wild card spots are Seahawks and the 49ers. Are fighting for one, and then the Detroit and Packers, like that's gonna be dead heat. So it's gonna be, I believe, probably there's gonna be a team with a good record, probably not gonna make the playoffs this year, and it might be the Bears, to be honest with you. So they better watch out. So, folks, the Bears come off another close win, like as we said, that's 4 games in a row. We'll give them credit where it's credit due. They have won 8 of the last 9 games, so that is really great to see. But as I said before, out of all those teams they won against, all those teams, I think the Steelers are the only team with a winning record. So,
and they didn't have their quarterback.
And they didn't have Aaron Rodgers. So they don't have one. They have one win this season against a winning team that didn't have their starting quarterback, and that's what I mean. Adam took the Bears to cover the game, and they did because Aaron Rodgers was out. But folks, this is where I tell you it's fool's gold, okay? This can't keep up. The secondary's all beat up. The defense is allowing almost 27 points a game. I like their weapons, sure. I like the 7th rounder dude, Kyle Manangi, whatever the hell his name is. Decent 1-2 punch. Loveland, as Adam pointed out in the past, he's looking like he's taking a step in the right direction as the season goes on. But sorry, their defense is garbage. I mean, don't say. I mean, I know. I think we're in agreement here, right? Like, this can't keep up. And when I tell people, others Bear fans, who I tell them you haven't beat one team that has a winning record, they think I'm lying, and then they go look on their like, holy crap, you haven't until last week. But even that, So I don't know, dude. Do you see? Are you afraid of the Chicago Bears? I mean, have they played the Packers? No, they haven't played the Packers yet this season. That's gonna be fun.
I'm not afraid of the Bears. We do play them though, like almost back to back, I think, or something crazy. They really are jamming those division games at the end of the season this year. No, I mean, I'm not scared of a team that has a bad defense and a quarterback that throws for 50% completion percentage every week. They're very well coached. I do hate that the Bears got Ben Johnson. I think that was a great move, and he's the reason why they're winning these close games. Also, Caleb's not turning the ball over. Those are the biggest positives, I think, for the Bears in this season. They shouldn't even be talking about the playoffs. They should hope they don't go to the playoffs because they still need players. They need picks.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, that thing is worthless. It's worthless.
Yeah, man.
I'm not a believer. He's not a bad player. He's got a lot of skill. I don't know. I like you. I'm not a believer, but I do think they have good players in certain spots, especially on the offense.
Yeah.
And I hope they just keep fucking up their draft position.
Yeah. Like you have to respect some of their passing game. DJ Moore, Donze, Loveland, and Burden. They have guys, so it's not like it's like they have weapons. But I'm not. I think Killen's gonna be a okay starting quarterback. I don't think he's gonna be a great one, but talk to Colin Coward. He thinks he's the best in sliced bread. But I'm with you, man. The 49ers and the Bears are fool's golds to me. I do not see them going anywhere. Even if they get in the playoffs, the Bears, which is still an if, even looking at Las Vegas odds, I think the Bears will be one and done in the playoffs. I truly do. But
I will
credit
say
to them.
one more thing. Sorry.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's a good point or not, but you think about the team from a couple years ago, the Vikings, that won 14 games or whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody knew they weren't that good. They had all these one-score games. The whole league was saying, like, no, they're not that good. They're not that good. They get blown out or beat first game in the playoffs. Like, there is something to the group of people, bettors, knowing that these teams aren't that good and only winning by one score. So
Great,
just wanted to
great.
throw that in.
No, great comparison. That's exactly like that 14-1 Vikings team. Like everybody's like, wow, yeah, but nobody had them. Like, no, come on. Like they're like, this team is like, they've had an easy streak. It's like, and they are. Like I told you, this is the first game they have a win against a team with a winning record. But was out with their starting quarterback. So the writing on the wall of the Bears. Don't buy into them. It's fool's gold. Even though I did tell people to predict the Bears to go over their team win totals, which was like 8.5 or 9.5. I told them to take over. And they're probably going to get it because, there's some games on here. I can still see them winning. I can see, well, I think that Browns game will be tough. But if they could take a win from the Browns and the 49ers, okay, now you broke that and you won that. So they can still get in, but it's still a hard schedule with Packers, and Lions all still up in 3 divisional games. They could lose all 3 of those games, and I think they can't. They have a good shot of losing all those 3. Now let's talk about my Philadelphia Eagles coming off a depressing loss. It's one of the biggest losses in their franchise history. It was their first loss at home. No, not home. Sorry, well, I scratch that. They're 4-1 at home. That's what I was gonna say, and I got my words mixed up in Philly. But come on. Anybody watch that game? They were control the whole game, and they just it's because we have no consistency. The one thing the Packers and I feel like Eagles have together, it's always hard for them to put 4 quarters together. It is like pulling teeth. I do not understand it. They get away from the run game. Even the run game wasn't so great for them in the beginning during the Cowboys game from the beginning to the end. But when you're 3rd and 2, when Hurts took that sack, which he shouldn't have took that sack either, they should have ran the ball. Even if you get 1 yard, you can use the tush push. I don't understand why they did this stupid coaching decision. This is the thing with this team: is the offensive coordinator and Nick Sirianni. I'm not a Nick Sirianni fan. I know some guys you think I am, but I'm not. I think he's a good culture coach. They say I don't like that shit. If I was the Eagles, I'd have fired Nick Sirianni and I would have went after Ben Johnson. To be honest with you, I'd have been like, hey, thanks for winning the Super Bowl, but loyalty and all that crap. But anyways, I get besides my point. When you let a team, when you're up 21-0 and you have the defense you have, even against the Cowboys, who has one of the top offenses, you should be able to hold and keep that lead. It's just unbelievable. So this loss, I'm going to chalk it up to the Eagles killing themselves because they did. They had over 11 penalties. They had a lead that they just blew and let the Cowboys hang around. It was coaching, and the penalties were some on 3rd downs, or when Dallas Goedert had 2 of his catches with over 15 yards each, penalty took them away. It's like that can't happen. It just can't. So I'm taking this as the Eagles shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, am I wrong? Did you watch that game?
Yeah, no, I think you're totally right, and I'm glad you brought up Sirianni too, because a lot of people just want to blame the offense, but the head coach is responsible for that too, and he's not in there making changes and being like, hey, this is what I'm seeing, I want you to do this, or hey, this isn't working, I'm going to take over play calling or whatever. Like, he doesn't have the answers either, and it's a rudderless ship, and I think people like AJ Brown and those guys can smell that, and that's part of the issue, and it's becoming a real issue.
Yeah, well,
it has been.
Three teams have changed their offensive coordinator calling or defensive coordinator call. Somebody's calling the things. We have 2 guys in the building who either had experience calling being offensive coordinator, or they were offensive coordinator at a top college school. We have 2 of them, I believe. Why not give them a shot? One of the guys, a young, hot guy that people say that might get a lot of attention.
Sexy or what?
No, he's hot and like he's a young up and coming football smart guy.
Yeah.
But You're right though. Even Sirianni was an offensive coordinator. I don't know. A lot of people forget that he before became the head coach of the Eagles, for the Colts, I believe. So that's what I'm saying. I want to. I don't care. This is not crazy talk. I know people think Eagles fans are crazy. I'd be fine if they fired Nick Sirianni. I would. I don't like the pussyfooting. He says he just says the same words over and over again when they ask him difficult questions, like, "Oh, we just got to try harder as a team effort." Blah blah blah. We fucking know all that. So I wouldn't be surprised if I want to be keep Vic. Vic Fangio is a stalwart defense coordinator, one of the best in the game. Other than that, him and Patula, who are friends, by the way. That's why I think he doesn't want to take those play calling dudes away from. Throw him out with the rest of everybody. See you later, alligator. Also, let me get back to the game as I get beside myself. We did lose our starting safety, Andrew Makubu. He's going to be out to 4 to 6, several weeks with a fractured leg. Our other starting safety, Blankenship, he is questionable going this game. I don't know if he will. He had a really bad injury. But Vic said today, as of now, Vic Fangio said that he expects Blankenship to play. Lane Johnson is questionable again, but he is not going to play. He's 4 to 6 weeks out. So, also our our starting outside corner, Jackson, is out. So a lot of our secondary is hurt, and they're talking about starting guys who I'm not really happy with starting. Michael Carter the second, the guy we traded for the Jets, who's a nickel corner, moving to his safety, then keeping Cooper at the slot corner, and then putting Ringo, which they shouldn't. Ja'Cory Jackson should be the other outside corner, but there's gonna be moving parts. If we could keep if Blankenship could play this game, it'd be really, really great for them, and that would save us a spot. So when it comes to this game, man, is this. I think the Bears it's gonna run out. It's just gonna run out. Even if our secondary is decimated, we still have Quinton Mitchell and we still have Cooper DeJean. The Bears don't have nobody in secondary. They have nobody. Okay, they're like AJ Brown. If they pass the ball, AJ Brown and Devontae could probably eat this game. So I think with the Bears having almost just only beating one winning team, the Eagles, I think they know they could put this together. I don't know. I just think the Bears, it's more about the Bears than it is the Eagles. I think they've been running on too much of a lucky streak here. And as we said, they just been winning game-winning touchdowns. I mean, last-minute wins by touchdowns and field goals. But I don't see it with this game, man. I'm taking the Eagles to cover the 7, 6.5, or whatever number I can get it at best.
I hate that I'm even debating this because it just shows how bad the Eagles' offense has been. I'm just looking back at some games, though. Like, they've barely won games by a touchdown. Like, they won that one Lions game by 7. They beat the Giants by a lot, but Dart got hurt. Then they had a lot of close games. I feel like I need to go totally opposite from you this week. And I'm going to go Bears.
That's good because you chose the Pet Eagles as your best bet last week, and they lost. As I said, if you would they were going to lose. Your first
the Bears will not be a best bet. I'll tell you that right now. Little spoiler for you.
Okay, so you're taking the plus 7 points. Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's going to be a good one. A mutual friend between me and Adam, he is coming down to watch the game, and it's going to be fun watching the Bears versus the Eagles. And I expect the Eagles to win. I'm going to call it 30-21. 30-20. 50-point burger on them. So, staying within division, let's go to the 49ers versus the Browns. 49ers being favored by 4.5 and the over-under being 39.5 points. San Francisco, that game against the Panthers, I had them as a best bet, the Panthers to cover, and they should have covered. I mean, they had Purdy through. Oh, the over/under was 37.5. I'm sorry, not 39.5. He turned Purdy through three interceptions. McCarthy fumbled, Kittle fumbled. I mean, there was 5 or 6 turnovers by the 49ers, and I think they got 3 for sure, but maybe four of the turnovers they got, and the Panthers couldn't turn it around. I just didn't, if that was any team with a competent offense, the 49ers lose that game. So lucky win by the San Francisco 49ers, in my opinion. But I'm tired of checking 49ers. Or 49ers are 8-4 and they're 5-2 away. Okay, so they're going to Cleveland, but they're fool's gold to me. They are fool's gold. Their defense is depleted like crazy. Okay, I'm tired of seeing on the media the day after, like, 49ers, like, can they make like some scary thing, some like, a potential playoff win and go on a run? No. Okay, I'm still in the camp. If they get in the playoffs, they'll be first round done. They'll be out of there. Okay. The receiving room is still not the best. Jennings is a number 3 guy, number 2 guy. Same with Purcell, whatever. He's the same way. It's McCarthy and Kittle, and that's it. And you got to hope Brock Purdy doesn't get on a turnover tirade. Okay, so I'm not a buyer. What's keeping this team above water is good coaching. Robert Saleh is a great defensive coordinator, and Kyle Shanahan is a QB whiz, and he could call games pretty damn well. So no, man, I don't know. 49ers to me, I think they're fool's gold, even though the record's 8-4. I don't believe in them whatsoever. I mean, convince me I'm wrong, or do you fall in the same camp?
No, I think there's something to that. I think maybe last week was just a bad week. I still like the offense and some of the weapons that they have. Overall, the offense is pretty healthy.
Just stop McCarthy. Like, I know. I know. It's like, I don't know why teams just say, hey, you linebacker. I know this is not an NFL football player, okay? I understand. But put an emphasis, just guarded the guy. After that, it's like...
I mean, obviously they're trying. They're trying. That guy's amazing.
Yeah,
so,
he definitely is.
No, but I hear you. And the offense is defense is extremely beat up. But there's a lot of teams in the NFL that are getting by just on good coaching. So it's hard to bet against them. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, it is. Also, I keep on switching the over-under here. I said that to you guys. I wrote 39.5 because when I did this, it was 39.5. So we'll keep it at 39.5. It went to 37.5. But, I don't know. The 49ers, I still think the injuries they've accumulated throughout the year is not going to bode well for them when they get in the playoffs. So even if they make the playoffs, as they look like they are, which the NFC West is crazy good, still think they're going to be one and done. And I hear your point, but let's not talk about the Browns. Not much to talk about them. Shedeur Sanders, I mean, the guy barely completed over 50% of his passes. It was against the Raiders. I think it says about the Raiders more than anything. The Raiders are just a dumpster fire. I don't know. I'm not impressed by Shedeur Sanders. I watched it. The guy was missing balls left and right. Judkins did another week. He didn't have 100 yards receiving. He did have 2 touchdowns, so that's good.
Wildcat. That's because they took Shedeur out and they did the Wildcat, which won't work against the Niners, in my opinion. I liked it against the Raiders. It looked good. It looked too easy though.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess the one thing we can say that's positive is this: Garrett had 3 sacks last week.
The whole D line is out of control.
That gives him 18 sacks total. 18 sacks. If you take Hunter from the Texans, Hunter and Will Anderson, they have a combination of 21 sacks. This man has 18. It's unreal. This guy's gonna break the single season sack.
Oh, and he wants it now. It's obviously in sight. He wants to crush it. And that whole D line, they got to be just so amped every game. So they're not petering out. They're growing in force. It feels like every week.
100%. And you know what? Like, I was gonna say. I was gonna say something good here. Sorry, brain fart, guys. I'm sick.
It was something really good though.
Yeah, it was something really good. What it comes down is this, man. I also mentioned the Browns are 6-5 against the spread, and they're 4-1 against the spread at home. So they have covered the majority of the games when they're playing at home, the Cleveland Browns. So Adam, I'll take this one since you took the last one. This game opened at 6.5, and everybody and their mother took the 6.5 points, or the sharps took them at 6.5. because of how the 49ers looked last week. Now, since I got at 4.5, I'm going to try to take this number. Oh, what I wanted to mention. Sorry, now I just remember what I was going to say. I need 2 more wins from the Browns for them to win my when I bet before the season started. Their team total wins that was 3.5 or 4.5, but I need 2 for sure. So if they could take sneak one in, they got the Titans. That's going to cash out for me. So, anyways, it comes down to this, Adam. Can they make enough? Purdy make the mistakes he made last week, and it's like Shedeur Sanders, God forbid, can he do anything? I'm not entirely sure. That's what it comes down to me. Call me nuts, call me stupid, but as I said, I'm not a 49ers believer. I am taking Browns at home when they're 4-1 against the spread, plus the points. Now, personally, I'm gonna look for the best number for this game. If I get a 5.5 still or 5, I'm gonna take it. But as we're talking about 4.5 points, I'm going to take the 4.5 points. I can easily see this being a 14-17 game or a 17-21 game. I'd be hard pressed for the 49ers to score 20 points on this defense, because I don't know. I just think that this defense is going to give Purdy fits. But so give me the Browns plus the 4.5.
Yeah, I feel like I've been against you on every game. And I'm going to keep going. I just can't bet with Shedeur. I'm sorry. I just can't bet with him. I think he had a decent first game. He's all amped up, and it was against a shitty team. But with the coaching of the Niners, I'm just nervous. They could get a defensive touchdown. The Niners could, and could close this game out. So I'm not confident in it, but I'm going to go Niners.
Yeah, it's the easy money would tell you to take the 49ers to cover it, but I keep on looks like I'm bald. I got a receding hairline. I got hair, people. I'm not going bald. I keep on saying that. Sorry.
Almost 40, so
no. I'm almost 30. What are you talking about? Anyways, besides the point. I hear you, man. But it I want Garrett to cause havoc, and I hope he puts Purdy's little Poindexter butt on his ass, and I just want the.
What do they say? You can hope in one hand and what in the other.
Yeah. So whatever, we're at each other's ends again. So Adam has the 49ers to cover the 4.5, and I will take the Browns plus the 4.5. We got the Jaguars versus the Titans. Jaguars are favored by 6.5, and the over/under is 41.5 points. Jaguars, good win, blew the doors out against the Arizona Cardinals, and a Cardinals team that me and Adam, we were saying, well, we're not talking about the Cardinals, but me and Adam told you guys that the Cardinals, we think it's time, their luck of staying in those long games and covering and fighting to the end. We kind of said that was kind of over, and that's why we told you guys to pick the Jaguars. Jaguars, great win, blew them out. They
only won by 3.
Oh, did they?
They won in overtime.
Oh, you know what? The game was like, I don't know where I was thinking. Well, I am sorry. Thank you for correcting me. I thought that the game was, but they still covered because the number was 2.5, and we got it 2.5. So I am sorry about that. Forgive me, as I'm sick. But the Jaguars, though, one positive thing I see about them besides Trevor Lawrence is that even though Trevor Lawrence is something we've said in the past that we don't trust, is that they're getting healthier. Their weapon before their best weapon besides Travis Etienne was Brendan Strange, and he was hurt for several weeks, and he finally came back last week, and I think that's going to be a boost. I think Brian Thompson Jr., which I think is questionable, but I think he's getting healthier. Brian Thompson Jr., Jacoby Myers, they just made, and Brendan Strange. That is a solid core. It really is. Brendan Strange is a good receiving tight end. And if Brian Thompson could shake off the cobwebs when all those drops he had before he got hurt, maybe this him getting healthy would help. And then the sure hands of Jacoby Myers, who had a good game last week. I think that's a good offense with Travis Etienne, and I think that it could put up some good points here, especially as the Titans team that's reeling. But hey, let's talk about the Titans. They won. They've covered. Not they have covered the last 3 games, so they're not winning at all whatsoever. But hey, as it was our best bet against the Seahawks, Adam. Like I don't know how the Seahawks let the. I know they got a special teams touchdown. The Titans, as they got a good punt returner and that rookie guy, that rookie wide receiver. But good for them. It shows that they're growing, at least that they're keeping games tight enough that they can cover. Some of them were big spread, but hey, I don't know. But he still gets sacked a ton. The Cam Ward Jaguars, they do have a good front seven that can get after you. So I don't know, man. Do you think this? We'll just cut it short here. Do you think this Titans team? Do you think they can keep it close enough and cover 6.5 points? Is nothing to sneeze about because they've been doing the last 3 games. They think they could do with this with the Jaguars.
I do, honestly. I think the Titans, like, their defense is a different defense with Jeffrey Simmons back. He was missing for, I don't know, a decent number of weeks. Cam Ward is looking good. The guy can run. He can really move. I think he's kind of coming into his own a little bit. They still don't have many weapons, and they're not a good team, but they're showing fight. Keeping it to 6 points against the Seahawks, which is, one of my top 2 teams in the league, I think is super impressive. So I don't know how long they can keep it rolling, but I don't love the Jaguars. I think they lay eggs all the time. They have a good running game, but if the Titans can stop that, I think Trevor Lawrence is a bum, and yeah, I'll go Titans.
Yeah, well, we're finally agreeing on one. The way they win this game is they keep the pocket clean for him. He was sacked 4 times, I believe, against the Seahawks. But they gotta keep it. They gotta keep it clean with him. It's like I'm taking the 6.5 because the Jaguars front's team total sacks is only 21 sacks. So it's in the bottom 5 or bottom 10 for sure. So they're not that good at getting the quarterback. So if they could keep it clean enough for him, and maybe Tyjair Spears and Pollard, they could do something to help with the running back. Provide something in the running back room, and then he could get to his rookie Shamir Dyke and the tight end who leads them in receiving, whatever. I think they keep it close enough. I think they cover this game as well. I'm not a Trevor Lawrence believer, just like you, man. But as I said, the big thing for me is the Jaguars are not getting after the quarterback as they should, and I think that just opens a door for the Titans to keep it close enough and they cover. Now, do I think that they win? Probably not, but hey, I'm going to say right now, I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans win this game outright. I'm not for sure. I don't think this is just a for sure thing with the Jaguars. As a lot of teams have, a lot of teams are for sure things when they played against them. But yeah, give me the Titans 2 plus 6.5 with Adam. Now let's go to the Texans versus the Colts. This has the markings to be a really good game here. Texans are favored by, the Colts are favored by only 3.5 points. Over unders 44.5. And Houston, man, they're coming off a good win against the Bills. I had the Bills in that one. I had the Texans plus the 5.5 in that one. That they've won 4 out of 5 games. They are still in it to win the NFC South, I believe. They're only 2 games behind the Colts. So if they win this game, they're only 1 game out. Same with the Jaguars. They want to keep it the Jaguars. They're only 1 game behind the Jaguars. So there's a lot of motivation here so they could win this game. Like I said before, guys, Hunter and Will Anderson are beasts. They both have over 10 sacks each. I believe Hunter has 11.5, and I think Will Anderson has 10. Something like that. So they get after the quarterback like crazy. CJ Stroud is going to play this game. I think he's finally back. Davis Mills did an admirable job to keep them in contention. He won, I think, all the games that David Mills started, they won. So good for him to keep up with them, because they're winning against the Bills and beating the Jaguars were good key wins for the Texans. They're arguably the best defense in the league. They get after the quarterback. They're really hard to pass on. So we all know about that. But getting Stroud back, I think, is the key here, even though Davis Mills played admirably. But I think him get back is a big deal. Um, I don't know. Is there anything else you really want to say about the Texans? We know about it's their defense. They get after, buddy. It's good. They finally give them the Woody Marks a lot more play, but Nico Collins is a beast. So I think that's gonna help out.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I feel very stupid for not picking them last week against the Bills.
Yeah.
They really played great.
I think it says more about the Bills than anything because they can't be
Yeah.
trusted with that defense. But Davis Mills did great. He had 5 touchdowns, only 1 interception. So good for him. Now let's talk about the Colts. The Colts blew a loss to the Chiefs. Now they lost 2 out of 3. And the thing about the Colts is like Daniel Jones had a good game against the Colts. He didn't fall back to Daniel Jones how we all know him to be, or a few years in the past. But losing 2 out of 3 is something. There's nobody really in the receiving room that really scares you. Michael Pittman is the guy, but nothing really to be worried about. Alec Pierce is a really good guy over the top, but is he really going to be if his speed doesn't kill you, is he really going to do anything else? No. Obviously is around Jonathan Taylor, and the Chiefs did a good job against him. So man, I just think it just comes down to this. They still put up a lot of points to the Colts. They're number 1, I think, believe in the team offense when it comes to scoring. Do you think that their average defense could step up and contain Nico Collins and the Texans team that's rolling a bit? And do you think maybe possibly this Texans defense could put the clamps on Daniel Jones and bring back the old version of him? And can they keep it close enough that they could cover this number?
I do actually. I don't know. I saw some flashes of the old Daniel Jones last week. I think if the Texans get after him enough, I think he can kind of go into a shell. I don't know. I coming out of the bye a couple weeks ago, I really thought the Colts were one of the best teams in the league, and they have just not looked like it. I know they still have a lot of potential, but that Texans defense is just smash mouth scary, dude. And I think they could really get after him. So I want Texans.
I'm with you. I think with the juices CJ Stroud, they could score on this Indianapolis Colts defense. That's what the main thing is. I don't know. Other than Jonathan Taylor, I think it's gonna be hard pressed from Daniel Jones to throw these balls in these tight windows that are going to happen against the Titans cornerbacks. And I think they're going to be able to get after, even though the Colts have a good offensive line, I think they're going to be able to put pressure on Daniel Jones, and we might have a turnover or two. But I think they keep it close enough, and I wouldn't be surprised if they win. So I'm with you, man. Give me the Texans plus the 3.5. Now let's go over to two teams that are going nowhere. We have the Saints versus the Dolphins, with the Miami Dolphins being favored by 6 points and the over under 42.5. We both had the Saints in the Atlanta Falcons game. I mean, I guess when we really think about it, I don't know. I think that's a big, looking back on it, it wasn't the best decision by me and you, but
it's like we're playing a game of will the turd float or will it sink? I don't know. Every week, I don't know. Okay, it's a hard game.
But it is, and that was a hard game. And you're right; there were both two turds going at each other. The Falcons and the Saints, man. So whatever, bad loss by them. Tyler Shook, or is that his name? Yeah, Shook or something like that. Yeah. He doesn't look terrible. He had 43 attempts, 30 completions. But he was also leading rusher, so Alvin Kamara has an MCL sprain, so he's not going to be playing this game. So the rookie running back Neal and Hill will be the running back. They have weapons in Olave and Johnson. There's that. Other than that, there's nothing really about this team you're really frightened about besides Olave and Johnson. Excuse me. I don't know what else you could take from this team. They still got Chase Young, Cameron Jordan, Kool-Aid McKister, but Pete Werner, but Brian Brees. But it's their defense is not so bad. But I don't know, dude. It all depends. Can Tyler Shook can carry this team without their gadget weapon and Alvin Kamara? And I'm not entirely sure because the way they look against the Falcons, it looked like trying to put the wrong puzzle pieces together. So I don't know. Like Adam said, they're just two turds. Now let's talk about the Dolphins. Dolphins, hey, coming off a bye, but before that bye, I believe they were on a bit of a heater. I want to double check here before I've been putting my foot in them. Yeah, they've won three out of the last.
All things considered, yeah.
Yeah, they won the last 3 out of the 4 games, and then one of those games to beat the Bills. But as we could tell, the Bills are not that hot. But hey, they're pinning a lot of good numbers up. They still have numbers. Tua has to stay accurate, and he has to stay, he just has to stay above his game. He has 17 touchdowns for 13 interceptions, but his completion rating is still good at 68%. But I think that's what it comes down to. You got to make A-Chain the focal of the offense, and you still have Jalen Waddle, and you have a decent tight end in Greg Dulcich. Saying that again wrong. Darren Wollner's probably not coming back, but it's decent. I like it. They can still put up points, and they can still A-Chain is like a receiving back. He's like Gibbs, but not as good as Gibbs. He could pass catch, and he could rush the ball like nobody's business. Dude, I think this is an easy one for me. Saints, I think they know what's happening. Alvin Kamara is out for this game. That kind of makes them, not worry about Alvin Kamara receiving the ball or rushing the ball behind it because he was a good receiving back as well. So just another weapon loss. I like Juwan Johnson as an anytime touchdown for this game, so mark me down for that. But I don't see the Saints doing any much in this game, and I think the Dolphins coming off a bye, knowing that mathematically there's still a chance to make the playoffs, knowing that Mike Daniels is still fighting for his job. I think that the Dolphins are going to come and win this game, easily.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Saints are crumbling. Kamara is such a huge spark for that offense. He just always seems to, get those yards when they need it. And like I said, just a sinking ship. So Dolphins easy for me.
Also, I want to say a little as of yesterday, I missed this. I don't know how. Darren Waller will be designated for return from injury reserve on Wednesday, and he was looking good. So I like that even more. So give us both the Miami Dolphins to win and cover against the Saints team that needs to pack it in and decide what they want to do with their first round pick. Now let's take it with the crappy turd games, floating turds and sinking turds. We got the Falcons versus the Jets, with the Falcons being favored by 2.5 and the over/under 39.5 points. As Adam said, we didn't know who to choose in that Falcons game, but the Falcons won. They beat the Saints. I think Drake London is still not going to play this game. As always, keep an eye on that because this offense does not look doesn't look the same when he is not playing. Now I know Michael Penix is out for the year, and it was a good showing by Kirk Cousins that he still has a little bit of it. I also want to put out they lost their starting tackle out for injured reserve. So keep an eye out for that because the Jets, they could get after the quarterback a little bit still. So if they could rattle Kirk Cousins, that boy, you rattle him, he'll sail a couple balls. So keep an eye out for that. Drake London is questionable, like I said, and keep an eye out for that. But dude, good win, right? Against the Saints. But before that, they were like on a 4-5 game losing streak. I'm not confident in them whatsoever. Kirk Cousins played efficient enough. I think he had maybe 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a thing. Even BJ Robinson only had 14 carries in that game, which I don't understand why. With with Atlanta Falcons with Drake London, BJ Robinson needs 20 to 25 carries. So I don't know why he didn't have that many carries. Mooney, now the starting wide receiver, he is not he's a third, fourth wide receiver in my opinion. Kyle Pitts, I think we need to finally say Kyle Pitts is a just a starting just a average tight end. He's not the great tight end that we all thought and who's going to be when he got drafted. So there's that. Other than that, dude, besides B.J. Robinson and Tyler Algier, who I like Tyler Algier as a backup, I really do. He's one of the better backup running back in the league. There's not really much to say about this team. Their defense, they could get you. They could get a bunch of sacks on you, which is like cool. That's awesome. They blitz a lot, but you can run against this team. You can pass on this team. The defense is not so great. There's not a lot much I like from the Atlanta Falcons. Is there any silver lining you see here?
No, I mean, like you said, they were on a losing streak and they beat the worst team in the league. Not impressive. I saw this TikTok the other day, and I'm just bringing this up right now. Kyle Pitts, he was drafted number 4 in the 2021 draft class. Listen to the players after him. Jamar Chase was a generational prospect. Jalen Waddle, Penei Sewell, J.C. Horn, Patrick Surtain, Devontae Smith, Justin Fields, Micah Parsons, Rashawn Slater, Elijah Vera Tucker, Mac Jones, David Collins. I mean, the Falcons have just bungled so much, and I don't know. It's not getting better over there.
Drafting Kyle Pitts, drafting Michael Penix, and signing Kirk Cousins the same year. Fire that GM. Get him out of there. If he's still that is ridiculous. Wow. I mean, I didn't know all those players were picked after him. And I remember watching that draft. I just couldn't know the Kyle Pitts was in that year. Unbelievable. Yeah. So Falcons, good win. But, who'd you beat? Now, let's talk about the Jets. 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 They, got blown out by the Ravens, but they covered. That hook cover for us as we got a 13.5. The Jets, Tyrod Taylor, I don't know. Like, it's just like, okay, is he technically a better passer than Justin Fields? Yeah. He had 222 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception against the Ravens. But, there's just nothing you could rely on in here. They did find little something in John Michie. He had touchdowns in back-to-back games, and it's good to see him doing well. He had leukemia, and then he jumped around. I forget his team, but he got traded to the Eagles. Eagles didn't use him, so maybe he got to the right team that's using him. And because he came from Alabama, he had a good career in Alabama. So maybe that is a good silver lining, because when Garrett Wilson, if he ever comes back, Garrett Wilson, John Michie, and Adonai Mitchell, the guy they got from AD Mitchell, the guy they got traded from the that big trade they made with the Colts. Okay, that's something. Mason Taylor, that's with Breece Hall, that could be actually something positive, something solid. And I want to see if Wilson is going to come back for this. Just real quick here. He thinks he will play again in 2025, meaning he's probably not going to play this game. So offense is still going to be stagnant, but they might have something Mitchell, Michie, and Taylor. Defense is still solid, not great. I don't know, man. There's not really much to say here. It all depends. Can Tyrod Taylor can he exceed? Can he put up a lot? Can he do something against this Falcons team? It's a tough one, man, but who do you got?
I think the Falcons are a better team. The Jets have shown some fight, which is good, but it's only 2.5 points, and I still think the Falcons defense is good, and obviously their running game is incredible. So I think 2.5 is not too much for them to overcome.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I just think if they run the ball with B.J. Robinson, 25 carries, I think they should win and cover this game. The Jets, I don't know. Breece Hall needs to go off for them to win this game, and maybe he will. But it's something I'm not really concerned with. I don't know. The Jets is going to fold it, in my opinion. But now let's go to a game that should be one of the better games on Sunday, I believe. We have the Rams versus the Panthers, with Rams be fair by 10.5 points, and the over-unders 45.5. Rams best record in the NFC. They're crushing it, dude. They're killing it. Matthew Stafford, I believe, is now the MVP favorite. He is killing it left and right. The guy looks like he's vintage, vintage Matthew Stafford with all the when he had Calvin Johnson and all that. But dude, they look great, man. Like they don't really have a weakness on that offense. You have and they're on like a 6-7 game winning streak as well, by the way. I forgot to mention that. But there's not really a weakness on this offense. Kyrie Williams, can be a little better. He's not having the best. I don't think he's having like the strongest season this year, but you don't really need to. Well, I should take that back. He's having a really good year. He's 796 yards, and he's averaging 4.7 yards a carry this season. That's really good. I guess I'm not really caught up in his game because when you think about the Rams offense, it's Puka Nacua, and Devontae Adams, and they are killing it on as a wide receiver duo. Arguably one of the best, or the best, if you want to throw that out there. Their defense is going great. The defense is top 5. I don't know, dude. Like, is there something you think that maybe you can point out that you could possibly think? Because like, you got Puka Nacua, who's almost 1,000 yards. You got Devontae Adams, who's at 12 touchdowns. He might get to 1,000. He may not. I believe he has over 650. But do you think there's any holes on this? Now, the defense, I still think you could pass on them a bit if you could protect from their front 7. Yeah, man, I don't know. Do you think there's a hole in this defense? The whole team, not just defense. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I maybe I'm nitpicking, but I do kind of wish they had a better tight end.
The sacks have slowed down too, though. By the way, they've slowed down in the last few games.
They have. I mean, obviously they beat the brakes off the Bucs last week, which is an impressive win. They're a decent team. But no, I just think the offense is a little funneled through those 2 wide receivers, and I wish there was a little bit more variation. But they're kind of an old school offense a little bit in that way. Like I love seeing the fades to Devontae Adams, which you just don't see in the NFL anymore because that's a low percentage play or whatever. I love that Stafford's on an MVP run. He is like one of the most overlooked quarterbacks of the Aaron Rodgers era, with those kind of big 5 quarterbacks that were around for like 2 decades. But more specifically, they're playing great right now, and I don't know, they don't have many weaknesses.
Yeah. It's gonna be tough because this Carolina's offense is putrid. It's like if they can't run with Rico and Chuba Hubbard, which by the way, in that game against the Niners, Rico and Chuba Hubbard had a combined 9 rushes. That's ridiculous. So it's like, if you're gonna be successful, you shouldn't let Bryce Young decide your fate with throwing to one guy, your rookie McMillan, and that's it. And let's talk about the Panthers. Their offense is god awful. They need to run the ball to be successful. The offensive line is pretty solid. Bryce Young was only sacked 1 time against the 49ers, but they only have 1 weapon. Xavier Leggett and Coker, and they're not going to do it for me. McMillan shown some good moves, but nothing to write home about, in my opinion. So that's what it comes to it. Their front 7 in general, the Panthers, it's supposed to be the bread and butter. Now, give it credit, they turned over their ball 3 or 4 times against the 49ers. They could have got more turnovers in that game, but they didn't even sack Brock Purdy. They didn't sack him once. So that's not going to bode well to a team like the Rams, who have a bona fide, arguably the best offense in the league. So, they're 6-6, but this is the definition of cold and hot. The Panthers, and I thought they would cover against the Niners, and they really had a chance to, but this whole team is just not so great. I want to put out their interior lineman, their starting lineman was in a walking boot, and he's probably not going to play this week. So their starting guard is hurt. Their starting center is questionable now. J.C. Horn had a concussion, their best corner, so he might not play this game. Their other corner has been ruled out already for this upcoming game, Corey Thornton. So Corey Thornton, J.C. Horn, their guard, they got hurt in that game last week. So with that, man, 10.5 is a huge number, but I don't see the Carolina offense keeping up with this Rams offense whatsoever. So I'm going to take the big number, take the Rams to cover the 10.5.
Yep, I agree with you. I think they get after Bryce Young and he turns the ball over. I just don't see their offense scoring much on this Rams team.
Yeah, and it's not like they're bad against the run, the Rams. So all you gotta do is put in the box. And, hey, Bryce Young, try to beat us. Go ahead. Oh, you can't beat us? Oh, guess we win the game. That's.
I googled it just now. He's listed at 205 pounds. That's a bullface lie. That guy is tiny. It says 5'10", 205. No, that is not correct.
Yeah, 5'8", 186 probably.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't know. If you're the Panthers, would even though they're not going to the best pick, but would you look into getting a new quarterback?
They should just move to another country. They're a joke. They're the only reason the Bears are good right now, or decent right now. I hate them vicariously because of that.
Yeah, for that, giving all those picks to them.
Yeah, they need a total restart. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't like where they're going, and I'm with it. They need a hard reboot. But keep a few guys, but hard reboot. Now let's talk about. We just talked about how beat up the Panthers are. Let's talk about how beat up the Buccaneers are. We have the Cardinals versus the Buccaneers. Buccaneers being favored by 3.5 only. This game opened like at 6.5. By the way,
for the Bucs.
Yeah, for the Bucs. So it was 3-point swing. So that's a big swing. Yeah. And the over-under is 44.5. Cardinals, as Adam pointed out for me, they had a close loss to the Jaguars. And that's even though they didn't cover in that game, as me and Adam we told you guys to take the Jaguars to cover the 2.5. So they've been. That's them. They've been keeping it close for a while, but they before the Jaguars game, they got blown out by the 49ers and the Seahawks. Check Brissett, looking good, throwing dimes out there. He had 317 yards passing, 1 touchdown, no turnovers, looking good. And he's playing without Marvin Harrison Jr. And I believe Marvin Harrison, he had appendicitis. I think that's why he was out.
Yep.
I don't know if he's out for this game. He is questionable, but if they can keep him in there, that'd be a great boost because he's thrown out there to Wilson, to that other small guy, the other side of the receiver. I forget his name, but he's a small, very fast, shifty guy. They have McBride, second best tight end in this league, top 5 for sure, in my opinion. They hang it tight. Brissett does not turn the ball over. They have a solid offensive line. Defense is solid. I do think what's his name's. I think the head coach is probably out this year though. For them, Gannon. So I don't know. Cardinals are solid, dude. They're a tough team. They're 3-8 though. So it's nothing like. Yeah, they're solid, but they're still not good. I also want to point out they're 1-5 at home, which is like, I don't know if that's possible. They've only had 1 win against home. Anything you want to say about the Cardinals, man? I think they're a feisty team, but yeah.
No, I agree. I got nothing.
Yeah. Now, I think the big stories are about the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers have been tumbling down the stairs. The bricks have been falling apart. The water's coming out of the seams with this team. They've lost 4 out of the last 5 games. Baker Mayfield is hurt. Godwin came back, didn't do a damn thing. They got the doors blown off them by the Rams. The defense is falling apart. They're just like last year. The defense is awful. They're awful. I don't know, man. Like, what can you say? Bridgewater, if he plays this game, because I know the Mayfield is questionable in this, but do you really want to put Mayfield out there and risk more injury? Because he's doing with an AC joint sprain, his non-throwing shoulder, but still one hit on your shoulder, and he can make it permanently. No, just not permanently, but worse than it is. Dean is questionable. Bucky Irving, is he ever going to play? I told you guys, Mike Florio got inside information that injury is way worse than it was perceived to be.
He's playing this week.
Oh well, God, they need that because
he's practicing all week. I haven't heard anything bad yet, so I think he's going to play.
Well, he's one of the better receiving dual running backs, and he was killing it before he got hurt. So they need him like nobody's business. So, I don't know, man. Their defense is garbage. But Baker Mayfield, we said he can't keep us playing Superman over and over again. And look what happened. The chickens are come home to roost. They're falling apart. They've lost, I think I told you, 4 or 5 of the last 5 games, something like that. Whatever. So, dude, I'll let you take this one. Cardinals feisty. They're not the best. That feistiness can only go so far. Their best weapon, Marvin Harrison, is out. I don't know, dude. This is a tough one. 3.5. Do you like Tampa Bay in this? Even though we don't know if Baker Mayfield's going to play.
Yeah. So it's a sprained AC joint. I think that's like the same as what Jordan Love had in his non-throwing arm. I'm betting he's going to play, and I think Bucky Irving coming back is going to kickstart that offense back to give it some of its life that it was missing. I know they're reeling, and I don't want to bet on them, but with Bucky Irving back, I think that is a huge change for that offense, so I'm going to go with them.
Yeah, if I wish I looked at this game early before the week started at 6, I would have took it with a heartbeat. But I'm taking my 3.5. I think Brissett is going to light them up. I think that I don't like the running back room of the Cardinals. But as I said, they're feisty, and I think the Buccaneers are reeling right now. And you're right, Baker Irving could make a change, but I just can't put my chips in with a quarterback that I don't know who's not going to play this Sunday. So I just can't do it. So I'm going to take the Cardinals plus 3.5, and I wouldn't be surprised if they win an outright. Now let's go to Adam's third favorite team, the Vikings versus the Seahawks. The Seahawks being favored by another big number here, Adam, 10.5 points, and the over/under is 41.5. We don't have to talk about the Vikings that much. We just don't. Good defense, good secondary.
Sorry. The one thing we should talk about is JJ McCarthy, though, because he's
that's what I'm going to get to.
He's in the concussion protocol.
Oh,
so
is he?
I don't even know if he's going to play. So I don't know.
Well, but that might change it up now, baby.
It might be a phantom concussion. He did get slammed pretty hard, so I know he's in the protocol. But a backup would be better at this point. So that is an issue for me.
Right. In general, they've lost 5 out of 6 games. If McCarthy plays, but that's what it comes down to. If he plays, what can he do that's good? He can't do anything that's below average. He's just god awful terrible. He is not a starting quarterback in the NFL. So if he does play, I don't know. Good luck. They're also one of their corners is still on injury reserve for the concussion. Yeah, I don't know. I got a feeling that I don't know. You're right. It might be a fluke one, but then Carson Wentz is still in the IR. Max Brosmer is that? Are we gonna put our chips in? Where does Max Brosmer cover? I'm looking at his thing in real time. He was drafted this year and he was a quarterback at Minnesota. Okay, cool.
He's basically like the best water boy on the team.
Yeah. So, there goes Cesar folks right there. It all depends. They have all the weapons, even though the running back room not the best anymore. It's better than average. They have Addison. They have Jay Jets, man. We don't have to talk about that. So it all depends on the quarterback here, people. Who's going to play? And can Max Brosmer, if he does play, can he get the ball to the weapons? Maybe he'll surprise us, but we'll see. All right. Let's talk about the Seahawks. They disappointed us. They did not cover against the Titans. I don't know if that was them letting off, hey, this is the Titans, this is an easy win for us. Good bounce back for Sam Darnold. No turnovers, 2 touchdowns. Nice to see Kenneth Walker gain more carries. One of my favorite bets was I personally bet Jack Charbonnet as anytime touchdown at plus 100 and something. He got us a touchdown. Your boy, who's been carrying you in the goddamn fantasy football. Oh no, you got him and Puka Nacua. You got the two best fucking receivers.
My God, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
JSN is unbelievable.
This guy is uncoverable. Like, I've seen guys double teaming him, and he is uncoverable. Just a terrific, terrific route runner.
And Darnold can get him the ball too, deep.
Yeah,
those deep balls were impressive.
Yeah. So, JSN looked him up. I'm ashamed that I drafted Cooper Kupp in our league and a late round pick because he's unusable now. And I like to see me use Rashid Shaheed a little bit more. That guy's a speedster. I don't know why. I don't know if it's not blending in, but.
Kupp sucks. I every time I see him get the ball, I don't know why he's out there.
His knees are shot. They're done.
Yeah.
I think after this year he's probably gone from this team. But the Seahawks are one of the better teams in the league. Now they didn't cover this, but they still got guys everywhere. Like we said, their defense is elite. It's one of the better defenses in this league. They've won 5 out of the last 6 games. They just lost that Rams game, which they could have won. Their injury report is pretty clean. There's some starters who are questionable, and Knight and Jones, but they've been on the injury list for a while. We know about them, man. What do you think, man? Do you think there's a big number? Do you think the Vikings could put something together? And God knows what quarterback is playing. Do you think they could put up these 10.5 points? Do you think you could cover this with these 10.5 points?
Nope. No, I think any quarterback they put out there maybe can put one quarter together. They can't put a whole game together. I think the Seahawks want to bounce back a little bit after not performing as well as they wanted to last week. And I think that defense is going to blitz the crap out of that quarterback, whatever Vikings quarterback is out there, and give him fits.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I can't get there with them either. It's just that I don't know if is JJ going to play. If he is going to play, well then no. I want this at 14.5 points maybe, or 13.5 points. So I'm with you there, man. I can't get there. I'm taking the Seahawks to cover the 10.5, and you got to respect Justin Jefferson, obviously, and Addison, but I'm using man to man and letting them try to beat me, and putting the pressure on the quarterback to beat me, or just like cover the 2 running backs. I don't know. I think this is gonna be a blowout. So give me the Seattle with Adam to cover the big number. Now let's go to a team. I don't know, another big number. Team that's, I say, arguably maybe be worse than the Saints is the Vegas Raiders versus the Chargers. Chargers being favored by 9.5, and the over/under is 41.5. Look at another team where we don't have to spend a lot of time. Now we know who the Raiders are. Okay, they did fire Chip Kelly, so maybe that adds some juice to their team. That juice by, I mean, like not winning the game, but covering the game, because that sometimes that coach gives it that new coach gives it a bump. Maybe they do something different, but it's hard to do it when, I don't know. Geno is just not an invaluable quarterback now anymore. He could be a good backup, but that's about it. There's nothing really, anything else. Genty, he had a decent game. He had some good receiving. I think he had some good receiving yards and a touchdown. So that was good to see. Tucker, good. God forbid you guys throw to Brock Bowers. Get him up in space for me for fantasy. Please throw him to Brock Bowers. But, dude, they're on a 5-game losing streak. I don't know if this new offensive coordinator is going to do anything to really bump this team up. I don't know, dude. What do you think? Do you think the Ravens can get a bump from this thing? He was the quarterback coach. He was the quarterback coach for the Raiders. Now he's going to be the offensive coordinator. Do you think this will add maybe a bit of a juice?
Maybe. It seems like the coach firings actually is a thing. I think the players maybe feel like there's fresh eyes and they got a new shot at something. Also, like you said, I guarantee the new offensive coordinator is going to throw the ball to Brock Bowers more than what he's been getting. So that's positive, but it's just not enough. The team, they're not good. They're really bad. Bottom three, easy, really bad.
And here's the thing, I didn't know this. Olsen, who's now the new coordinator, he was the offensive coordinator for the Raiders in 2013 and 2014, and then he was the offensive coordinator again for the Raiders from 2018 to 2021. So he has been the offensive coordinator for this team twice now and in multiple years. So okay, he has some familiarity. Maybe hey, at least it's not some guy who's fresh. Well, maybe they need somebody fresh. Regardless, Chip Kelly didn't work for the Eagles, and now he didn't work for the Raiders. Can we stop with the Chip Kelly show? He is not a NFL quarterback, NFL head coach at any level. Offensive coordinator and head coach. Go back to college. Go to the minor leagues where you belong. Okay. So with that, let's talk about the Chargers coming off a bye. Big news. They get their rookie running back, Omari Hampton, back. Which is it Hampton, I believe. I want to make sure I'm saying the name right. Yeah. Which is great. Oh, by the way, do this in real time. Hold on, folks. Hold on. Omari Hampton autograph right there. Look at that, baby.
You sounded Japanese there. You're like, Omari Hampton.
Oh,
autograph.
Right. Wasn't doing that. But this card will go up for sale if anybody wants it sooner or later. But anyways, yeah. So he comes back. He was looking really good for the Chargers when he got hurt. And his backup was playing actually pretty decent for them for the time. Vidal, how to say his name. So, but that's a boost because the Omari Hampton is the Chargers like to run, and Harbaugh, they like to run, and he was looking dynamite. As I said before he left, I just want to take a double check. Before he got hurt, he was almost at 5 yards, averaging a carry, and he had 314 yards on 66 carries and 2 touchdowns. So that is really great. Even his backup Vidal was doing good. Vidal. So good 1-2 punch now. You know that your backup running back can hold the reins and produce. So you have a good 1-2 punch. They have Keenan Allen. They have their boys Luke McCarthy. So they have an offense galore. Well, dude, I think this is simple for me. The Chargers are awful. I mean, the Raiders are awful. I don't know. 9.5 is a big number, but coming off a bye, and they are playing they're playing in San Diego. I just have to go with the Chargers to cover this number. I think them getting a boost from the running back adds another dimension to this offense, and I think the Raiders will hang in there. I think they will, because the boost of the new coach. But I think eventually they'll pull away the Chargers and cover the number.
Yeah, I think you're right. The Chargers haven't been the same team without Joe Alt, but it seems like the last couple games they're getting things going, and the new running back should help. So I'll go Chargers as well.
Yeah, and just take the better quarterback, man. The better quarterback is by far a mile Justin Herbert over Geno Smith. So with that, let's talk about two teams that are reeling, two teams that need a win desperately if they want to make the playoffs. We have the Bills versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, with the Buffalo Bills being favored by 3.5, and the over/under is 47.5 points. Adam, you just can't trust the Bills anymore. You just can't. You never know what you're going to get from them. They were dumb not to make any trades, make any acquisition to help them on the defensive end. But more importantly, give the Bills another weapon. Now, they did just pick up Brandon Cooks since he just got released today. So they did pick him up. Brandon, maybe he has some juice to help him out. But I'm sorry. Other than that, since Kincaid went down, this team has looking like struggling to put up a lot of put something things. So they've lost 2 of the last 3 games. In those 2 games they lost, they only put up 19 and 13 points. They did beat the Buccaneers, and they put up 44 points, but the Buccaneers defense is not so great. So what I'm trying to get to is, the Bills. Yeah, I don't. They have all these flashy names, but I can't put two and two together. Why they're bad. It's like they're one of the bad. Okay, they're not bad, but they're good. They're one of the good teams that are bad. That are not like they're not that. They're like the Bears. Like they're winning, but like, do you trust them? I mean, they still got Cook. I love Cook. I think Cook needs 25 carries a game. He has over 1,000 yards rushing, but other than that, I'm not really scared of anybody on that offense, man. And but do you think, man, this offense can? Well, Allen in particular, because that's what I think with Tim. Do you think the Steelers team can do anything to hold back this? Because they let the Bears put 30 on them.
That is the question. I don't know. The Steelers defense has been playing a little bit better lately. But man, the Bills team, like I said, I just don't trust them. Josh Allen has looked great in some games. Other games he's running for his life. I don't know if nobody's open. The wide receiver room is not good. I mean, Brandon Cooks is listed as a starter.
Oh, really? Already?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's just a sign of where they're at. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. And what the thing about the Steelers, like, is Aaron Rodgers healthy? That's it. Is Aaron Rodgers healthy? Is he going to play this game? He was limited practice, but they have great optimism that he will play this game. Okay, so we'll take it as he will play this game. Do you trust them to? I don't know. I don't trust them either, dude. I just don't trust the Steelers. There's two teams I can't put my trust in both the teams. Like, I don't know what I'm going to get from each team. Even if the Steelers are healthy, can they stop doing the dink and dunking? I know it's worked for them, but hasn't really worked for them. Like they're 6-5. Like, can you change it up a little bit? Can you mix it up?
They will never stop. No.
Something you learn when Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback for the team.
Yeah, they won't. And they have that. I mean, it's a crazy strategy, but they have the Darnell Washington tight end out there doing cool stuff. 300+ pound tight end. That's like their guy.
Yeah, unbelievable.
They're dedicated to this strategy.
Yeah, and DK Metcalf, I bet he thought he was gonna have I thought he was gonna have a better chance of looking great for this team when Aaron Rodgers signed. He might not even get 1,000 yards this year. So there's that. I also want to point out in the last, I think, 6 games, their defense is allowing almost 30 points a game. The Steelers defense. In the last 6 games, their defense is letting teams score bonanza on them. 30 points a game. Okay, so there's that. I'll go with this one, man. I also want to point out the Steelers are without their left tackle. He's out for the game, and they're going to be without their defensive end. I don't like the Buffalo Bills, but Allen Rodgers. I'm going Josh Allen. That's over a beat up Aaron Rodgers. That's without the left tackle. That maybe Bosa could do something, get after him. I do not trust this Pittsburgh defense. As I told you, they're almost averaging almost 30 points in the last 6 games. I think Allen, they're gonna do what he can. Are the Bills coming off a bye too? I think they're coming off a bye. No, yeah, I think they're coming off a bye. But regardless, I think they know it's coming. The waters are raising above to their necks if they want to make the playoffs. So I think they do enough, and to, like I said, a beat up team, the Aaron Rodgers beat up, and I'm talking too long here, but give me the Bills to cover 3.5.
Yeah, the Bills didn't have a bye, but they did play Thursday, so they have a mini bye.
Okay.
I don't know. My gut is telling me Steelers, but like you said, looking back, they're letting most teams score around like 30 points, or I can't remember what the number was that you said. And if it's going to be a shootout, you might as well go with the Bills. Because they can obviously do that. So I don't love it, but I'm going Bills.
Yeah, it takes 1 sack from the Bills, from Bosa, to hurt Rodgers' hand, and there you go. And Mason Rudolph is coming, it's a 50-50 ball when he throws down in there. Good luck. So just one thing away. Now let's go to our Sunday night game. The Denver versus the Commanders without Jaden Daniels, as he's been ruled out. The Broncos being favored by 6.5 and the over under 43.5. Broncos coming off a bye. They are 9-2, one of the best records of the team. Thing about the Broncos, I don't fully trust them as well. I just don't. There's something about them as well I don't trust. They got a good win against the Chiefs. They won by 3 points. But if you take a look, good win against the Texans, 3 points. They beat the Eagles by 4, which they should have lost. Another game the Eagles let go. They beat 2 teams with the winning record, I believe. Yeah, that's it. The Chiefs, 3 teams with a record, as the Chiefs now are a winning team because when they beat the Chiefs didn't have a winning record, I believe, or they had the same thing. No, yeah, the Chiefs are 6-5 now. So when they play them, they're 5-5. So 2 teams they defeated when they had winning records. But if you look at Bo Nix's numbers, they look good. They really do. But you hear everybody, guys who I trust, who are ex-NFL players, and they're like, or coaches, they're like, their offense is not so good. It's not so great. Bo Nix he's not that. I guess I don't want to say he's accurate. I want to double check that. Yeah, he's completing 61% of his passes. That's you want to see though. You want to see around 64, 65. You want to see 18 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He's only taken 12 sacks. So that means he's getting away really well, but his offensive line has also protected him. Like him losing Dobbins, the Broncos losing Dobbins, it does mean a lot because Dobbins had over 700, almost 800 yards rushing, and he was averaging 5 yards a carry. That is a lot, and losing him is a lot. Harvey is a step down to Harvey. Harvey's a rookie. He's a good passing, catching guy, but that is a drop off. He's averaging 4 yards a carry, and then their offense is good. The receiver room could be better, but it could. Son is a decent guy, but they found a nice second weapon in Franklin, and they're almost both at the same receiving yards. So good, not great. Ingram needs to step it up. He only has 260 yards receiving. He's basically a name and existent in this offense. But their offense, nobody really scares you. Son, you got to watch out when you go for those deep balls because he's a big receiver. But as we know, it's their defense. They lead the whole team in sacks. They're I don't know if they're on pace to break the Chicago Bears 1985 sack record, but they were really good. That's what they're really good at. They get after the quarterback, they get after you, and they will murk you. They will beat you up if you can't get the ball out of your hands, because they could get after you. Pat Surtain is still questionable for this game, so keep an eye out for that. So is Alex Singleton, but he's looking like he'll come back for this game. And their other starting running back in Jonathan Ellis. So that's something to carry out. I know I just talked about the Broncos there real quick. Do you trust them? Do you think? Do you feel like there's something a little iffy about them?
Yeah, I'm a known Broncos hater. They have won a couple games by a decent margin, but most of their games are close, even against some not good teams. And I think that's partly just because the offense isn't as productive as we thought it would be. Defense is obviously good, but something's missing there, and maybe it's Bo Nix, maybe it's the wide receivers. I don't know, but I haven't liked almost any games that I've watched from them. Right.
And now let's talk about I'm blown away by this is only favored 6.5. The Commanders are Jaden Daniels is out. I know Noah Brown has been designated to practice. They get wide receiver Terry McLaurin is now questionable. He's not ruled out like the last previous game. So getting Scary Terry. I know Jaden Daniels is questionable, but I read that he's not playing this game. So they might get some weapons back and Noah Brown and Scary Terry for this game. Okay. But Marcus Mariota, not a bad backup. One of the better backups, I would say. But he is not something I would hang my hat on against this ferocious defense. So I don't know how this is how this is 6.5. I just don't go. I don't know if there's anything to say about the Commanders, man. Like, it depends how healthy they are. Do you trust their weapons? Because we don't know if Scary Terry's going to play. Then it's Deebo Samuel and Zach Ertz. The running back room is a carousel. It was the Jackson Merritt guy. Now it's Chris Rodriguez, the 7th round guy. I mean, the other guy, who's it going to be? The running back room sucks. Okay. So, Marcus Mariota, uh, he has 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and a completion rate of 65%. Okay, not terrible. Backup play. So, dude, that's it with the Commanders. Is their offense going to get healthy? Do you trust their defense? Do you think this, if Marcus Mariota does play, which it looks like he is, do you think he can keep it close enough so they cover this number against the Broncos defense that's top 5, top 3, and number 1 in sacks?
No, and especially with the Broncos coming off a bye, I think they come in with their defense and smack the Commanders. I think the spread obviously shows that other people around the league also don't trust the Broncos. But hopefully off a bye, the defense can dominate.
Yeah, I'm with you. As you can tell, I'm taking the Denver to take the 6.5. I don't know how this is not 7.5. I don't know how this is 10, not 10.5. I'm worried that something's going on that I don't know, because I don't think Marcus Mariota and that crappy running back room, even Deebo Samuel, even Scary Terry, I don't know how they could keep up. Even the Broncos can't score much on offense, which they can because the Commanders defense is old and beat up. I just don't understand it. So, I'm taking the Broncos to cover 6.5. I might even push it 9.5 points, but I think this is an easy win for the Broncos regardless. Now let's go to our Monday night game. We're going over to the East Coast here. New England versus the Patriots. New England being favored by 7.5. New England versus the Giants. I said New England versus the Patriots. Okay. The Giants versus the Patriots, with the Patriots being favored by 7.5. Over under 46.5 points. Now, it all depends if, I don't know if it all depends, but is Jackson or Darts healthy? That's what it comes down to, I think. Even though Jamie Winston's been lighting it up, baby, I like what I'm seeing for. I should take that. I should take that back.
I was gonna say, is that a good or a bad thing if Dart's in?
That's
I don't even
true.
know at this point.
That is true. Let's double check if let's do it in real time. I'm not seeing anything on Jackson Dart, so I think he's probably not going to play this game. So that is that's that. The Monday is a long way out, so keep an eye out for that, guys. Look at the Giants surprised us. They kept up with the Lions toe to toe all the way to overtime. And classic Jamie Winston style, he threw an interception. But hey, when you're a gunslinger, baby, you gotta let it fly. You just gotta take out the pistols and just start firing. Doesn't matter, okay? But Winston kept him in that game. 366 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Without Scatterboo, the running back room was pretty crappy with Tracy and Singletary. But the Detroit, who they played against, Detroit's rush defense is actually pretty good. Robinson killed that game, 156 yards receiving. He has a good relationship with the tight end Theo Johnson, so that's also great. So Jamie Winston is making it work. He's making it look good. This defense for the Giants, I don't know if they're beat up. Their front seven is good, not great. Brian Burns is a sack machine, but he can't do all his himself. He has 13 sacks, and the next person after him who in sacks is 3 sacks. So from him to the next guy is a massive drop off. So there you go. Brian Burns can't do it all, people. So it depends if Jamie Winston can have another game like he had. To a New England defense, their secondary is trash, okay? It is garbage. The rush defense is good, as I said before. Their secondary is garbage. So that's what it comes down to when it comes to the Giants. Can Winston light it up like they did before, and can he expose this Patriots bad secondary? Now let's talk about the Patriots. They come off a win. They didn't cover against that game, even against the Bengals. They're getting healthier and healthier, as we said. They had Butte. They had Stevenson come back, even though they didn't even use Stevenson at all. They're 10-2. Drake May, top 5 in MVP voting, but I think they did lose Will Campbell. They're starting the first round pick and they're starting left tackle. I believe he is out for this game. I also believe he might be. I don't see him on the injury report, but he was taken off. Oh, here we go. He was questionable. He's going to be placed in the IR with the MCL sprain. So the left tackle is out. He is out for this. So Brian Burns might be feasting. He might be rubbing his hands like this, knowing that the left tackle is out. Their starting center is week to week as well, so he's not probably playing this game. And one of their corners is going to reserve. So they got weapons everywhere, Adam. I like what they're doing with Henderson. I think they should have still mixed in Stevenson a little bit more. I like Diggs, Maya Collins, and Kashan Butte, Hunter Henry working in there. But they're starting left guard out. They're starting left tackle out. Already secondary that's crappy, and they put one of their corners, Alex Austin, out. Do you think this Patriots offense can score enough and put enough points on the Giants to keep the distance enough from the Giants covering? Because I think Drake May and them are gonna have to outscore the Giants offense by a lot to cover this number.
I don't know that I am. I think the Patriots have been showing some weakness. Drake May didn't look quite as good last week as he had in other weeks. I don't know. There's something that's I feel like is starting to unravel a little bit there, and I really think the Giants have been playing hard the last couple weeks. So I'll take the points and go with the Giants.
Yeah, it's tough, man. At 6.5, I would take in the Patriots, but at 7.5, I'm with the Giants in this one. I think Winston could keep him in the games. He can sling the rock. I think they found a real good connection with Theo Johnson and Wade Robinson. Good 1-2 punch there. Trace and Singletary step up, but I really like them to cover it, to keep it close enough. And yeah, I think they could lose this game probably, but I think the Giants could be a sneaky play of this one, definitely. So give me, with Adam, the Giants to cover plus the 7.5 and Monday Night Football. All right, now it's time for our best bets for Week 12. There was a lot of games I liked this week. I mean, it was hard to narrow down to 4. We're doing 4 again this week, people. It was hard for me. It was hard for Adam, I bet, too. I could pick probably 5 or 6, but I got down to 4. Hopefully, I'm lucky. But I'll start first. The first best bet I like, under 52.5 in the Chiefs and Cowboys game. The Cowboys defense has stepped up. I still think the Chiefs are going to win this game, and the Chiefs defense is good as well. I think they could stifle the rushing game of the Cowboys. So I think it's going to force the just keep on passing and passing and passing. But I can see this game being a 28-20 game or 27-21 game. But I think it stays under that 52.5. So give me the under 52.5 in the Chiefs and Cowboys game. I also like it, the under 39.5. This is the number I got it at with the 49ers and Browns game. Now, Shedeur Sanders, the guy, even though the 49ers defense is beat up, Shedeur Sanders cannot pass the ball that well. I don't see him passing the ball against the 49ers that well. And I think the 49ers offense is going to be stifled with this dominant, great Cleveland Browns defense. I think this is going to be another game where Brock Purdy is going to have to be on his toes because he knows Myles Garrett, who's a man on a goddamn mission here to beat that record. I think he might startle him. We might see some turnovers. Not that the Browns are going to turn those turnovers into touchdowns because their offense is putrid, but I think that they could cause some terrorize Brock Purdy behind the line of scrimmage, behind the offensive line. I'm sorry. So give me the under that one. And then I think I touch people. I don't know how the Broncos are only favored by 6.5 points. I just don't get it. The Commanders are getting a bit healthier, but Jaden Daniels is probably out for this game. Scary Terry, he's questionable? We don't know. Even if he comes back, do you think Marcus Mariota is going to keep it close enough with this Denver's defense that can get after the quarterback left and right? I don't think so. So I like the Broncos to cover the 6.5 points. And in my fourth and final one, this was tough, but the Saints look god awful. They're without Alvin Kamara, and they're going to Miami, where Miami plays the best when they're at home. And I think they do enough. Mike Daniels wants to save his job. Mathematically, there still could be in the playoffs, but I think, and Warren's coming back too. I like the Miami a lot in this one. One of my favorite best bets of the season to cover the 6 points. So give me Miami to cover the 6 points against the Saints.
Nice. Yeah. Not as much overlap as usual, but that's because you did some over-unders. But we can start with my best bet that is an overlap, and that's the Dolphins. The Saints without Kamara, I just don't think can stick with the Dolphins, who can still score points and have an okay defense, at least in that tier of teams. Then after that, I'm getting back to the good teams. I feel like I always pick the top teams for my best bets, and they've done well most of the time. Maybe not last week. But I want to go with the Rams over the Panthers. I think it's a perfect combo of the Rams defense shutting down the Panthers offense, and obviously the Rams offense rolling. So I want that. And then I also want the Seahawks over the Vikings. I think the Vikings still have potential. Obviously, their defense can show up, but the Seahawks are a great team, and I think they bounced back a little bit after last week. Then finally, after much careful consideration and deliberation and having no integrity, I want the Bears because either they cover and I'm right, or my curse lives on and goes to the Bears. So honestly, I can't lose. That is a lock, a personal lock of the week, and I can't wait.
A win-win situation, as they call it. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, that's well, either it's a curse against the Eagles you've put on the curse on the Eagles, and there's yeah, I like that. I really like that, dude. That's pretty good.
I don't care if the curse is contagious. They can both get it, you know.
I like the Rams pick. The Rams Seahawks were 2 games I wanted. I definitely did, but I could have definitely chose both these teams on my best bets, but I did over and unders. So with that, guys, that is week 12 in the book. We have our best bets. We have our picks. I'm doing great so far. The second half of the season, I'm doing way better than the first part of the season and against the spread in general. So hopefully I keep that trend up for you guys. Hopefully you guys have a great Thanksgiving. The people who celebrate it. One of Adam's favorite favorite holidays of the year. He likes cooking up a big bowl of gravy and just dipping his head in, just living in it.
Bobbing for apples in the grid.
Yeah. It's gonna be awesome, dude. It's gonna be great. I'm really gonna be pumped to watch that Packers and Lions game. It's gonna be a great Thursday card, great Friday card. My Philadelphia Eagles versus the Bears. I hope you guys have a great time watching this. Like and subscribe. It goes a long way. We love it. Enjoy the holidays. Take it easy. Relax. Bet responsibly. Stay away from those parlays if you can. Okay. So with that, guys, week 12 is done. Our bets are in. We love doing this. Like and subscribe. And as usual, we'll see you in week 14. Is it week 14? Yeah, we'll see you in week 14 as we're doing week 13. As week 13, we're going past. And as usual, we'll see you in the next one. Alrighty. Awesome. Yeehaw.